one of the greatest lessons I think that this Pope has imparted to the world at large, and of course more specifically to Asia, would be in two areas. No? One is the encouragement to deepen that relationship with the different religions, so that he said we reduce the animosity and therefore increase the level of trust, no, between the different religions. So I think the emphasis to really continue the legacy of John Paul II, and therefore to affirm the importance of the spirit of Vatican II in terms of really deepening the relationship with the world religions and their leaders in order to bring about world peace. So that peace also includes what we call the need for justice, the need for forgiveness, the need for a more intimate, caring relationship with creation. That's the first lesson. And I think that has great implication for Asia, because I think Asia, we are not too alert in terms of the impact of religions on the population, on societies, and our relationship with creation or with nature or for the environment. So the level of, I think, environmental consciousness in the light of ecological disasters in Asia, I think need to be deepened through the impact of religions in their mutual relationship, and therefore concerted relationship, working together as religions for the betterment of societies in our relationship with the environment. I think the second legacy of this Pope is in the very act of his resignation or capacity to retire, because it speaks volumes to Asia in our traditions of the ancient wisdom that if we cannot provide leadership, whether in the ecclesial circle or in the political circle, or any kind of leadership in any sphere in Asia, particularly in countries where totalitarian governments, I think those leaders should learn the lesson that if you cannot exercise power for the service and empowerment of the people, I think it's best you step aside, because power is vested in you by authority, by your office, by the fact of your office. If that authority is vested upon you by the people or by the church or by the different religions, and if you fail to to empower the people, then I think you ought to learn the lesson that power is for service. If power is for lustful self-gain in terms of corruption, in terms of mismanagement of funds, or the exploitation of the of the natural resources, or the earth community, or even human resources, then I think that power has lost its legitimacy, its moral legitimacy. So any power that has lost its moral legitimacy calls for, I think, resignation on the part of the leaders. I think this is the greatest legacy that I think Pope Benedict has imparted and given to the people of Asia.
Father, how would you describe the notions of power in Asia?
The power in Asia, I think we need to look at how, both within church and within societies, in terms of our polis or political societies, the power is for domination, subjugation, even marginalization of people. You don't see that the power is exercised to help the people to speak up the truth, for instance, to speak up for justice, to speak up for human dignity and rights, to speak up for the earth community, to speak up for harmony between the different religions. We don't see that political power or even sometimes ecclesial power exercised for that purpose. And in church we call it for the betterment of, for the ushering of the kingdom of God in our societies. Power that fail in terms of ushering the kingdom of God to bring about greater life, justice and peace, whether in church or in society, that power has lost its moral legitimacy. And therefore, I think those leaders who exercise such discriminatory or oppressive power, I think they should step aside too.
In what specific countries, Father, do we see this phenomenon or this notion of power?
Well, in countries whether they exercise monarchical or parliamentary democracy.
Like, for example, Father, what countries?
Yeah, I would say that be it China or be it Vietnam, be it Malaysia or be it the Philippines, whenever this power is not at the service of people, only to embezzle political leaders, I think this Pope has given the lesson. step aside for the sake of new blood, for the sake of the new echelon of leaders who may be better at ethical governance, for the good of the people.
Mhm. But Father, the Philippines is not a totalitarian state, and we're democratic. How do you see this at play here?
Ah, I think what is at play here is, if you have leaders, if you have leaders who do not deserve to be vested with that power, then I think you ought to call for, people's power 1, 2, and 3, 4 in order to depose such tyrannical leaders, who will continue the legacy of Marcos, for instance, or Arab, for instance. I think such leaders should be deposed by the people. I think the Catholic social teaching put it very clearly: power comes from the people. If the people feel that this power has lost its legitimacy, then I think those are the leaders. They should step aside. They should make way for a new echelon of leaders who can promise the people better ethical governance. That the good of the common people, especially the marginal communities like the indigenous people here, and the lowland farmers, that their good be respected, promoted,
Mm-mm.
by good governance.